Rock and Roll Geek Show 1180.
Still rocking after all these years.
This is the story of my rock and roll butler.
This is it, the show that started it all. Often imitated, but never equal. From San Francisco, USA, online since 2004. It's the one and only Rock and Roll Geek Show. With the original Rock and Roll Geek, Michael Butler.
Welcome to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. My name's Michael Butler. Thanks a lot for joining me. I really appreciate it. Today is Wednesday, November 23rd, 2022, and it's 6:10 p.m., the day before Thanksgiving. I hope you're all done working and getting ready to pig out with your family or whatever you do on Thanksgiving. Give thanks. I got a lot to be thankful for. I got a lot to bitch about too, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be thankful for many, many things. The most important thing I'm thankful for is my health. Second most important thing I'm thankful for is that you're listening to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. I know that sounds cliche, and it is cliche. So why did I say it? Because I'm a douchebag. But I am thankful for you listening to the show, friends. Thank you for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. And let me finish up my second Tecate of the day. Something about the second one. It's always the best. Well, I'm back. First of all, I want to thank Casey Crenshaw for sitting in for me last week. He did a bang-up job. I laughed my ass off. I'm going to have to get him to do that more often. So thank you, Casey, for doing that. And there's a lot of, if you're on the Rock and Roll Geek Facebook group, you know, there's a lot of positive response. And Casey's one funny guy. I like his new segment, the Insincere Apologies. I need to download that song, sorry, and the jingle. Casey, if you're listening, send me the jingle so I can continue with the Insincere Apologies bit. All right, friends, it's the day before Thanksgiving. I'm down here in the Dawn Den with Stella down by my feet, and I got some audio comments I'm going to play. I'm going to play some music. I'm not cooking for Thanksgiving. We're not doing the normal stragglers feast. Last year, we went, the wife, me, and Brian, we went to a restaurant and had a really nice dinner. We're going to do that again tomorrow. And the day after Thanksgiving, I'm heading up to the mountains with two of the dogs. We're here now with, let's see, we got Stella, Kazzy. Those are the two siblings. Those are the ones I'm bringing up to the mountain house. We have Mila, who's the one that just gave birth to 8 puppies, and we have 2 of those puppies with us. So we got 5 dogs in this house, and I told you last week on the Facebook group that I was going through some personal problems and wasn't going to do a show. That's why Casey sat in for me. Let me open up the third Tecate of the day. And if you hear me go, it is a combination of Tourette's, but I also have a clogged throat. So let me take a sip of it. Number 3. Oh, even better than number 2. So where was I? So I'm taking 2 of the dogs up to the mountain house on Thanksgiving. The wife's staying down here. The puppies are not allowed to go. They can't go up to the woods until they've had their parvo shots, and they can't get their parvo shots until January. When my wife told me that, I said, whoa, what? January? I couldn't wait till January to go up there. I have not been up there. It's probably been over 2 months now. And man, I'm a mental case down here in San Francisco, so I cannot wait to get up there. It's going to be me and the 2 dogs. Joe Klein called me today, the guy who did the Rock and Roll Geek Show intro, the one we had the falling out over about the infamous Dwight Twilley lost episode. Anyway, he may come up to the mountain house and spend a few days with me and the dogs. I hope that happens because I'd really like to hang out with Joe Klein. The men, a couple of dudes hanging out, walking around naked in the cabin. Yeah, okay. All right, I'm getting delirious. I've been working my ass off, and I told you I was having some personal problems. I cannot go into what those personal problems were, but I'm still here, so I'm thankful for that. Very thankful for that. All right, let's start off with a song, and we'll do some audio comments, and we'll play some good music, and we'll just see where the night takes us, shall we, friends? All right, we're going to start off with a band called White Reaper. They have an album coming out on January 27th called Asking for a Ride. This is the only song they have out. Somebody sent me, I don't remember who it was, but I think Eric the RnR Pleeb had turned me on to this band a long time ago, like back in, I don't know, a long time ago. So I'm looking forward to the new album. This song is called Pages from White Reaper. White Reaper, Pages.
I took a walk back then. I had a moment thinking how it's been between you and me, my dear. And we can make it for another year, I guess. Or maybe I don't care. I wrote it in my diary, and all my word is true. I even tore out all the pages about you, and now I'm passing now to every stranger on the street that walks on by, so I can move along and maybe sleep tonight without not wondering why are things so complicated, sensitive and intricate. I can't wake up not feeling hated, so I took them all out. And things are colder here. Another night that I can walk into alone, and it makes so much sense. The kind of weather you can feel it in your bones. And now I'm cracking a smile to every stranger on the street that walks on by, so I can move along. I get to bed tonight without not wondering why were things so complicated, sensitive and intricate. I can't believe how long I waited. I can't believe how long I waited. I tore out all the pages. I tore out all the pages. I tore out all the pages. I tore them all out. I tore them all out. I tore them all out.
Man, that song is catchy as shit. Looking forward to the new album. I wish it came out this year because maybe it would be on my top 10 list. By the way, thank you to Chris Del Grande for posting a new thread on the Rock and Roll Geek Facebook group, which I did not create, but et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Everybody posting their top 10 list for 2022 because that's coming up. Every December, it's a tradition to do the top 10. I haven't even begun to put mine together yet, so it's going to be difficult. A lot of albums came out, and a lot of good albums, too. So, all right, why don't we play an audio comment? I got 3. Let's start off with one of my favorite commenters of all time.
Hey, Michael, Eric, the Rock and Roll Pleeb here with a show review of the band Starcrawler.
Hey, Eric.
Who I know you've played on your show before.
I have not played Starcrawler on my show. As a matter of fact, I have never played him. And I got an email from somebody. Let me see, Starcrawler. Bob Heslap. I believe it was Bob Heslap. Trying to talk me into liking Starcrawler. And he did not send me the new album, because that would have just been wrong. But yeah, I have not played them. The thing I have against Starcrawler, other than the fact that their audience is a bunch of hipsters that I've seen of all the videos, that girl in the band is a really good performer. She's super cool looking. She's a natural. The guitar players reminds me a little bit of Jack White. The audience, they think they're probably all like White Stripes type fans, and that's not my scene really, but the new album does have some catchy tunes on it. I will give him that. That was the problem that I had with them, besides the audience, was their songs weren't that great. I mean, that girl's a great performer. The guitar player looked pretty cool. I don't know about the other guys. But they didn't have any songs that grabbed me. All right, back to you, Eric, the RnR Pleeb.
It's probably where I first heard them, and they've also probably been talked about on the Facebook group that
yes, a lot of people
did
love
not
them.
Create,
Exactly.
and I'm not a member of because I am unable to answer the two questions.
Really?
Because if I answer them, you discover that I am part of a conspiracy to overthrow the election. And,
no, you're an
double
election
agent
denier.
for Elon Musk. But anyway, so I also heard about them on, I don't know if you listened to or watched the Justin Hawkins YouTube.
Oh, yes. He loves Starcrawler. I love Justin's... Justin Hawkins rides again. I love his YouTube show. I am subscribed to it, but he raved on Starcrawler, yes.
That he does. He mentioned this band too, so I liked enough of what I saw on YouTube and stuff, and hearing them on your show.
They look cool. The girl in the band looks super cool. She's got a lot of charisma.
I said I'll go check them out because it was like an $18 show. They played at one of my favorite places in Philadelphia at a place called the Union Underground, and it's just kind of a cool basement type venue.
It's probably
that
sold out too, wasn't it?
Probably can only hold maybe 500 people. And they played on the Tuesday, the election night, and also the Rest in Peace Don McCaffrey Day.
Yeah, Dan McCaffrey, yes.
So, I just bummed myself out with that. But
Thank you, friend.
Oh,
by the way, again, thank you for everybody with all the nice comments about the Dan McCaffrey episode. Yeah, there were some tearjerker songs in there.
Yeah.
If you would have gone past the last song I played, which was a super tearjerker from Dan's solo album, I followed that up with Morning Dew, which probably nobody listened to, but yeah.
The venue, like I said, probably holds 500 people, and it probably by the time the show went on, it was probably half full. So they pulled in a pretty good crowd for a Tuesday night, I think.
I'm surprised because they are like a super buzz band right now.
So there was an opening band. They were called Vixen 77. I think they were a local band, just a small.
Not to be confused with my friend Cher Ross, the all-girl band Vixen.
Local band. They're a 5-piece. Their logo's kind of cool looking. It kind of was written like a Thin Lizzy style. It's like Vixen 77, or like maybe Van Halen.
Were they playing covers?
The lines. But other than that, nothing much. They seemed like a young band. They just didn't have the songs, but they had some attitude, and the drummer was really good. Yeah, I don't know. Vixen 77, if somebody wants to check them out. Then, so the headliner there, Starcrawler, they turned off the lights, and then you heard a bit of a keyboard or some kind of sound effect thing, and then all of a sudden the guitar started, the lights came up, and you see the band just jumping around in front of a big pink backdrop with like felt.
The cover of their new album, She Said, is pink.
Letters of their name on it. Pretty basic but cool. They had pink mic stands. The lead singer, who I looked up, her name is Arrow D. Wild. She's
super skinny, kind of cute, but a little bit too skinny, but she's a great performer.
She jumped on stage and she was wearing like kind of a slinky tuxedo vest and top.
Just like the cover of their album.
Kind of top. Like if you look at their latest album, it's the same thing she's wearing on that album. And she just looked cool. She looked like a a cross between Wendy O. Williams
And
and David Johansen or something.
Yeah.
She just looked.
Yeah, she's a great performer.
She had blonde, long hair.
Like I said, the only thing they were lacking is songs. But the new album has some half decent songs.
It was like cut at different lengths, like in the front, like and just.
Although I did listen to the new album. I'm sorry to keep interrupting you, Rock and Roll Pleeb, Eric. I couldn't go back and off the top of my head remember any of the tunes.
She's just thin, tall, like
Super cool
she
performer.
looks like a rock star.
She is a rock
And then the lead guitarist, he looked kind of cool.
Yes.
Cool to me. He was like wearing a sparkling kind of Western suit
with fringe,
like
right?
the Flying Burrito Brothers. That
I heard that they sell those fringe shirts at their shows.
one album, I don't know, he kind of retro, but cool. Those were basically the two leaders of the band.
Yes.
There was another. The bass player he looked like he was like 17 years old, and he just had a short haircut. He just kind of stood there. Drummer was okay, and then there was another guy, second guitarist, who also at some songs he pulled out a slide guitar, pedal or whatever, lap steel slide guitar thing. So, but the main two people were this Arrow DeWild and that guitar player. What else? So I'm not going to go through the set list. I don't know a lot about this band. I didn't know a lot going in. I still don't really know a lot, but some thoughts I jotted down, that they played for a good hour and a half. The whole time they were rocking, gave you a good long show. I think they played most of their newest album. They mostly played their own stuff, but there was 2 covers thrown in. They did the Ramones' "Pet Cemetery."
Oh, that's a good one.
And song, I don't. It's probably some country song that people know, but I didn't know. If you're gonna be dumb, you got to be tough.
I don't know that one.
So they did 2 covers, but they played most of their own material. Great energy the whole time. And really, when I listen back to their YouTube, watch their videos, they're a lot better live. I know people say that all the time, but they haven't captured on record, I think, what they sound like live. They just have attitude. There was one point where they were like trying to antagonize the crowd to like get into it more. The crowd was seemed into it to me, but not. They wanted to work them up to another level. So they were prodding them. Like the Arrow said, like like the cheesesteaks here in Philadelphia must be bogging you people down. Like come on, you're here to have some fun. And there was one point where I think the baseball team, Philadelphia team,
Phillies.
lost. So she went, "Oh, you guys all sad, boo-hoo, your team lost." So she was like kind of poking at the crowd. I
That's
liked
good.
it.
I like that.
There was a point where she took somebody's hat from the front row and she kind of pretended to put it on, and then she threw it back into the crowd.
She didn't
and
want
I think
it.
might have been
She didn't put it on because she was afraid to get headlights or something.
the same guy, but later on, between one of the songs, he was like, he was really looked like he was wasted, and he was yelling something, and the guitar player said, "You got your hat back? Like, aren't we all good?" And then the singer Arrow, she just went, "You've been demoted. Get out of the front." Like so.
I like that too.
I liked. She just was like, I really like the singer. I like the attitude of the band. It was a good show. There was a part where the guitar player left the stage and he jumped on the bar. Like they were playing just a nice small basement place, and they were just rocking it out. So I'd recommend Starcrawler to anybody who might have an interest. Other than that, I did want to say before I was done here that I enjoyed your episode with Casey. You guys have a good rapport. I don't know. He seems like a cool guy.
Space Case album.
A cool dad. I mean, he's probably a cool guy too. But
yeah, he's
like
very
cool dad
guy.
because like when I hear the stories of him taking his kid to see Kiss with you guys, like I think that's really cool because my equivalent, I'm like lower tier with my kids. My best stories, I took my kids to their first concert to see Weird Al.
That's okay.
Which they had a good time. We all had a good time. Weird Al actually is pretty good. And
yeah.
If you haven't seen that movie, there's a Roku movie, Weird Al. I'd recommend it. It's the best rock movie of the year.
I gotta check it out.
Period. You got to check it out, even if you don't think you like Weird Al. check out the Weird Al movie out there. Okay. Enough rambling. Thanks, Michael. Take a sip of this.
I'll join you, friend. Oh, he cut out. Okay, I'll take a sip of this fine Tecate, friend. All right. Why don't we hear Starcrawler, since I've never played it on my show, and we'll do a little listening with Butler. This is the second song off She Said, the title track. It's the title track of the new album called She Said from Starcrawler. I don't remember it, so it's 2 minutes and 53 seconds out of our life. I like that riff. It's a good riff. I like that.
She said she didn't want to play.
That sounds like Hole.
I didn't want it any other way. So I left, pulled myself up off the floor. And now I can't go back there anymore. Please, please come back to me. I don't care if you even like me. Just please, please save me from myself. Don't wanna be alone and I don't want nobody else. She heard those voices in my head. They get louder every time I go to bed. All I can say is I don't feel like myself, and all I wanna be is anybody else. So please, please come back to me. I don't care if you even like me. Just please, please save me from myself. Don't wanna be alone and I don't want nobody else. Black cherries are never gonna taste the same. Red lipstick's always gonna leave a stain. And I've been lying to you. And I don't know what I'm going to do. So please, please come back to me. I don't care if you even like me. Just please, please save me from myself. Don't wanna be alone and I don't want nobody else. Please, please come back to me. I don't care if you even like me. Just please, please save me from myself. Don't wanna be alone and I don't want nobody else.
There you go, Starcrawler. That's not a bad tune. It's not great, but it's not bad. I'll have to give this album a full listen because I know everybody loves Starcrawler. So there you go. All right. Thank you, Eric Rock and Roll Pleeb, for the audio comment. I really appreciate it, friend. I think we should thank some people who donated to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. We will try to make it not as long as Casey's, but Casey's donation segment, I'm sorry, that was comedy gold. Thank you again, Casey. All right, it's fine. How about in the background, brand new Enough's Enough, Finer Than Sin. The Butlers are playing with them in January at the Bottom of the Hill. So that'll be fun. We're going to invite the singer, I don't know what his name, Chip or something. We're going to invite him to come up and sing a Cheap Trick tune with us, see if he can, see if he will accept the challenge. All right, let's start off. The first song is called Sound Check, which is a cool idea because they probably play this at their sound checks. I'll find out in January. All right, let me take a sip of this fine Tecate. There are several ways you can donate to the Rock and Roll Geek Show, friends. The main thing you do is just go to rockandrollgeek.com and hit one of the 2 donate links at the very top of the page. It'll take you to an Amazon affiliate graphic, and it will take you to PayPal. Like the following people donate on PayPal. Kirk Crawford, $50. Saved the show this month, as he does every month. Thank you, Kirk Crawford. You are my savior, friend. Lodi Johns, my first girlfriend, $25. She's back. Dave Franco, $20. Richard Strom, $20. Richard Fusey, $19.55. And Richard Fusey comes in again with a $12.77 donation. Then James Venners, $10. By the way, my chest still hurting like a motherfucker. We're going on week number 3. It's not as bad, but it's still pretty fucking bad. Todd Cunningham, friend of the show, $10. Jason Shepard, $10. Blake Johnson, $10. BJ Lisco, $10. Dave Jackson in the School of Podcasting, $10. Jeff and Sherry Thielalicky, $10. Ralph Miller, friend of the show and friend of mine, $10. Richard Fusey back again with another $7.77. Thank you, Richard Fusey. I'm going to take a sip of this fine Tecate to you. Andrew Howe, $5. Greg Long, $5. John Tennis, $5. John Skiller, $5. James Lesniewski, $5. Jennifer Wilbrecht, $5. Dale Roller, $5. Eric Lentz, $5. Robert Scott, $5. Benjamin Muller, $5. Christopher Del Grande, $5. Peter Spark, $5. John Offenlock, $5. Lassie Satvedhagen, $2. Stephen Mascord, $2. Chad Kiffmeyer, $2. Dave Alexander, $2. Adam Brachet, $2. Pardon me, I'm Burma's Fine Tecate. Deborah Dreyfus, if that's your real name, $2. Next song, Catastrophe. Philip Vermeulen, $2. C&H Thornton Enterprises, the Schall Company, $2. Vincent Creamy, $2. Brian Gratis, $2. And Kai Matsuda, $2. William Moffat, $2. That's all the PayPal donors. A little light this month, which, by the way, somebody sent me an email. I'll let Enough's Enough keep playing in the background. Somebody sent me an email telling me with a theory about why they think the donations are down. He said he thinks it's because people think I'm rich. Because I have 3 houses. I have a San Francisco house, a mountain house, and now I got Don's house. 3 houses in them. Most people don't even have 1 house. Okay, let me clarify. I don't have 3 houses. My son owns the mountain house. My son owns the house I was living in. We signed everything over to him, so I don't own either of those. Don left me his house, which thank God for Don. Don is my fucking savior, man. So I own half of 1 house. So in that way, I guess I am rich. But I'm still working my ass off. Even with this broken rib or whatever it is I have, I still have to work. And I'm also thankful that I have a job. So maybe that's why the donations are down. So just to let you know, I don't own 3 houses, friends. And I got to get up 4:45 every morning and go paint houses. This week I was painting for free because a house that I painted about 5 years ago had a peeling section that got a lot of sun, so I had to go work there all week by myself. For free. Because Michael Butler is an honest guy and stands by his work. Even when his work sucks. All right, this song is catchy. I like this. How about Steal the Light? I gotta say, the guy in Enough's Enough, the singer guy, he dresses like a clown. I will not tell him that if I meet him at Bottom of the Hill in January. All right, thank you to the people who went to patreon.com/RnR Geek and donated to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. That sounds like Cheap Trick here. Kind of like a Cheat Trick Light. Thank you to Joe Pawlak, $16.66 every episode. Thank you on Patreon. Dan Gerawan, $15. Tim Schall, $15. Kirk Crawford, another $12.77. Really saved the show. Fred and Ginny Bunke, $10. Joseph Coyne, $10. Michael Street, friend of mine and friend of the show, $7.50. Dave Slusher, my podcast mentor and podcast Hall of Famer, $5.55. Do the right thing, Dave Slusher. Brad Schultz, $5. Brad Shick, $5. Brian Springer, $5. Chiaki Hinohara, my good friend, the Metal Movement Podcast and Japanese Metalhead Show, $5. Pardon me, I'm burping up this fine Tecate. Dan McBride, $5. Daniel Borden, $5. Hey, shitty dude. Eric Klein, $5. Grant Farquhar, $5. Hava FX, $5. James Shapiro, $5. Jamie Jefford, $5. John Scott, $5. Writer of the great Tom Petty and Me book. Justin Lefkowitz, $5. Oh, before I finish, remind me to talk about Cowboy Mockbell. Justin Lefkowitz, $5. Martin Clawley, $5. Michael Brown, one of my oldest friends, the guy who I went to all the concerts with, $5. Nadi Itani, $5. Paul Smith, $5. Robert Harvey, $5. Steve Trice, Steve T, $5. Ted Wilbrecht, $5. Mike Hellier, £4. Mike Dixon, $3. Chad Burns, $2.50. Paul Rube, $2.25. Adrian Boschon, Bosch Rock on the Rock and Roll Geek Facebook group, which I did not create, but I do approve, people. You just got to answer 2 questions so that I know you are not one of those anti-LGBTQ plus right-wingers inciting violence. Amy Bowen, $2. Bruce I don't know what the fuck I just said. Amy Bowen, but I want to apologize. Amy Bowen, $2. Bruce McMillan, $2. Eric Stowell, $2. Matthew Hunt, $2. Patrick Shanahan, $2. Paul Underwood, maker of Underwood Fine Barbecue Sauce, $2. Eric the RnR Pleeb, the guy who just called in with the audio comment, $1.42. Free Legs, Four Wheels, Arnie Stash, Corey Kohler, John Richardson, and Mark Mazzei, all $1. Thank you to everybody who donates to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. I take a sip of this fine Tecate for you. Also, I want to thank Kirk Crawford for sending me the Tuck Smith and the Restless Hearts t-shirt. And I want to thank Tuck Smith for saying Super Great couldn't be better on the Eddie Trunk Show. If you want to hear that, go to the Rock and Roll Geek Facebook group and look for it, because Chris Del Grande, I think, posted it. Again, thank you to everybody who donated to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. Without your donations, this show would die a horrible, putrid, stench-filled death. It's value for value, friends. If you get any value out of this show, please help this multi-millionaire out. I'm panhandling. Brother, can you spare a dime? You are the producers of this show, and your donations keep it alive, friends, so thank you. All right, I'm going to have to give this Enough's Enough record a good listen. It sounds pretty good. All right, another audio comment. Whew. I'm already getting buzzed, and I'm going to have to use the bathroom, so let's... another guy who I very much love hearing his audio comments. Let's skip Chris Capelle for now. We'll get to Chris Capelle coming soon. A little bit later after this comment. This is, I'm not sure.
Michael Butler. This is JB from Colorado.
JB Colorado. Used to be JB from Dallas.
Formerly JB from Dallas.
Yes, there you go.
Formerly JB from Las Vegas.
Yes. Moves around a lot. This proves that I don't listen to the comments before I play them.
J.S. Skulls.
By the way, somebody on the Rock and Roll Geek Show. Well, there was a thread on the Facebook group about when do you listen to the Rock and Roll Geek Show, and one guy, I'm not going to name names, but said he fast forwards through the bad parts, and I said, which are the parts you fast forward to that you think are bad? And one of the things he said was the long, boring audio comments and me carrying on conversations with those audio comments. So, and then somebody else chimed in. That's the reason I listen. So, what are you going to do, friends? All right, back to you, JB. Let me back it up. I'm going to take it from the beginning. Back to you, JB, from Colorado, from Dallas, from Vegas.
Michael Butler. This is JB,
Hey,
from
JB.
Colorado. Formerly JB from Dallas.
I like
Formerly
this guy.
JB from Las Vegas. JS Skulls on the Facebook page.
Yes.
Don't ask.
Yes.
Facebook group for which you did not create, but you
Exactly.
do approve
Yes.
to keep
Let's
out
hear it. Let's hear it.
Iranian drones
That's
purchased
right.
by Russia.
That's right.
Hitting soft targets in
That's right.
Ukraine.
Exactly.
We
In
appreciate
Poland.
you helping keep Eastern Europe safe.
Hey, I'm doing what I can, friends. I stand with Ukraine.
I have a question for
Well,
you.
hold on, I got to go put up my flag outside. I had to wash it.
You often talk about the value for value
Uh-oh, here we go.
price of your podcast.
Oh, maybe he's the one saying that people think I'm a multimillionaire.
And I've always appreciated that policy. However, I'm wondering, does that also apply to comments, audio comments you get? If they are not valuable enough, do they not make the show?
Actually, one way to contribute to the Rock and Roll Geek Show, if you don't want to donate, contributing value to the show is calling in and leaving an audio comment. He's exactly right.
And the reason I ask, and I'll apologize in advance
Okay.
if I am
I accept
incorrect
your
in this,
apology.
but way back during the dog days of podcasting,
I think I must
I
have
submitted
I think I forgot to play his audio comment or somewhere. Somehow I missed it.
an audio comment that I never heard played. And then I specifically...
swear to God, I thought I played. I try to play every audio comment that comes, whether it's a good comment or a bad comment. I try to play them all because I appreciate people calling in. So I apologize for missing your comment, JB. It must have fallen to the bottom of my email or something, or got put in a spam folder. I have no idea, but I would have played it.
Paul, near the end of the month of August, you had made a comment on one of the days about how you were running out of content and you needed people to submit comments. So I resubmitted that one, and to my knowledge,
still didn't
it
play.
still was never played.
Oh boy,
And
what a dick!
perhaps I missed it. Maybe it didn't make my
I
feed.
probably
but
forgot to play
I'm pretty
it.
sure I listened to every day of that dog days, and I didn't hear
thank
my
you for
comment. And I was curious. Like,
I'm a
maybe,
dick.
Maybe I didn't provide the value.
I'm a
that
dick.
you
The wife was right.
seek for audio comments. But anyway, if I'm mistaken, I apologize, and
No, I
we'll
apologize
see
to
if
you, JB.
one will make it. But before we go any further, Michael, I do need to ask you, how the heck are you?
I
man?
am super great, couldn't be better. My ribs are cracked and broken, and now the pain is moving to my back, and I got pain in my lower back. Other than that, I'm super great, could not be better.
That's great.
Yes.
I am too well,
Yes.
and I am enjoying
My dog is not enjoying
a nice
this.
cold Miller Lite right now.
Yes, I'm joining you with a Tecate.
Hopefully you're
I'm
having
about to
something.
piss my
Let's
pants.
enjoy one together here. Cheers, my
Okay?
friend.
Cheers. By the way, when Tuck was on the show, I emptied out this bottle or this cup here. I got a cup here on my desk that's got pins in it. I emptied the pins out, and I had to do an Easter egg while Tuck was on the show, and that cup filled up, and I was about to go in my pants. That's why the interview got cut short. By the way,
Oh, that's good. Hit the spot. Yes. I am in travel status again. And
What's that mean?
currently actually in California, not your neck of the woods of California. I've made a long drive today all the way from Salt Lake City through Utah and Nevada into Southern California.
are you a truck driver?
But again, I am now JB from Colorado. I explained that a little bit on the audio comment that did not make.
I was going to ask you. What a dick! I'm a dick.
One thing, when I ask you how you're doing, it makes me chuckle because a few weeks ago I was listening to your friend of mine, Eddie Trunk's podcast, and he was interviewing Billy Sheehan.
Did you say super great?
Mr. Big Fame and David Lee Roth, etc. And of course the Winery Dogs, the mighty Winery Dogs, which I don't know if you've heard that, Michael, that Eddie Trunk had a hand in.
Oh, yeah, he put that band together.
Putting that group together. Yeah. Anyway. And Eddie Trunk asked Billy how he was doing, and I swear to you, he responded, super great. And I was sitting on the edge of my seat, waiting to see how he finished that. But he stopped there. He did not add the...
Hey, man.
Couldn't be better. So
maybe he listens. Maybe he listens.
I wonder if any other friends of the show heard that interview and caught that. How about a pause here for a rest in peace to the mighty, the wonderful, the legend, the killer, Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yes. Thank you for reminding me.
Considered an oldies
I'm
act.
going to stop right there, JB, because you reminded me. We're going to get back to JB from Colorado. I want to play a Jerry Lee Lewis tune. The Killer. There was, I'm assuming he's really dead, right? Because after they posted that he died, somebody said that was fake news. But I think he is dead. But Jerry Lee Lewis, that guy was the real deal, man. Let's play. Oh, we're okay. Rock and Roll with Jimmy Page, and I'm going to use the bathroom.
Boy, it is rock and roll. Well, it's been a long time since I rock and roll. Been a long time since I did the stroll. Let me get you back, let me get you back, let me get you back, baby, where I come from. It's been a long time, baby, a long time, a long, 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 long time. Well, it's been a long time since the book of love. Can't count the tears of life with no love. Carry me back, carry me back, carry me back to Louisiana. Been a long time, baby, been a long time, lonely, 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 lonely. Woo, baby. All right. Well, it seems so long since I walked in the moonlight, making vows that we just can't work right. Open up your arms, open up your arms, open up your arms, baby, let my love come in. It's been a long time, baby, long, 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 long time. Woo! Rock and roll! Well, it's been a long time since I rock and roll. Been a long time since I did the stroll. Let me get you back, let me get you back, let me get you back, baby, where I come from. Been a long time, lonely, 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 lonely time. Oh, it's been a long time, baby, since I had some of your dadgum good Louisiana loving. You remember me, don't you?
Rest in peace, the great killer, Jerry Lee Lewis. All right, back to you, JB from Colorado.
Rest in peace to the mighty, the wonderful, the legend, the killer, Jerry Lee Lewis. I know he would be kind of considered an oldies act in relation to this show.
Never
but
got to see
I know that
Jerry
you
Lee
were a big
Lewis.
fan of Chuck Berry. You'd mentioned that before.
Chuck Berry and Jerry Lee Lewis and James Brown.
It bums me out a little bit from more of a personal standpoint because my dad is a huge fan of those rockabilly days and some of those original architects of rock and roll, such as Chuck Berry, Little Richard, Jerry Lee Lewis, and
I was asleep. I sleep with the television on. Sorry to interrupt, JB. we have Sling. We have YouTube TV and we have Sling. We're the cord cutters. But anyway, Sling was on, and they have a channel called the Elvis Presley channel, and they played they did a whole, I don't know, when I was sleeping, I heard in my sleep there was a documentary or something on Chuck Berry, and I'm asleep, and in the middle of the night, I remember waking up and pointing my finger and like dancing in the bed to Chuck Berry.
Yeah, it just kind of bums me out when you see these guys fade away. These guys are the original ones, and I actually did a show review several years ago of for you on the Little Richard. I actually saw Little Richard's last.
Never saw Little Richard or
I could
Chuck
tell
Berry.
It was probably going to be. He looked in pretty bad shape. He sounded great. He played the piano great, but he needed help getting to and from the stage.
That's too bad.
He lasted for a few more years after that, but I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% positive, but I'm pretty sure I saw Little Richard's last live performance. So anyway, hey, how about a drink for the killer Jerry Lee
I
Lewis,
drink a
and
sip of
rest
this
in
fine
peace,
Pacific.
legend.
I'm on Pacifico now. Oh, let me open up this Pacifico. Hold on. To you, Jerry Lee Lewis, the great man. I don't know how much a nice. I heard he's kind of an asshole, but man, that guy was a good performer. Come on, the motherfucker in the 50s set his piano on fire.
What else?
That guy was rock and roll as they come. He was punk rock way before punk rock. That, again, the real deal. Him and Chuck Berry, the real deal. And Little Richard, for that matter.
A couple show reviews I wanted to go over with you. Oh, I know one thing. Heard your recent episode with the review of the King's X album, and
Well, by the way, this comment is from a couple weeks ago. So yes,
let me tell you, Michael, you're not alone. Okay, and I don't want to disparage.
a lot of people have this Three Sides of One album on the Rock and Roll Geek Facebook group in their top 10 albums of 2022. So it's a mixed.
Any of the fans of King's X and the friends of the Facebook group, but man, I'm with you. I just don't get it. I actually saw King's X in concert years ago. I went to, I got free tickets to a concert years ago. I lived in Indiana, and I went and saw Metallica at an outdoor show, and as we were leaving, they were handing out free tickets to the concert the following week.
King's X?
And that concert was Motley Crue. But Motley Crue
must have been having trouble selling tickets.
Fired Vince Neil, and they had John Corabi
no wonder,
as the singer.
Yeah.
They couldn't sell tickets to that tour, so I got free tickets to that. And I was like, yeah, heck yeah, I'll go to a free concert. And took my sister, and the opening acts were Type O Negative, and then King's X.
No wonder they couldn't sell tickets.
And King's X was a fucking bore.
Really?
And I'm sorry. I don't mean. I know
There
they're
you
talented.
Go. Hey, man.
To me, they're kind of like a progressive rock band, which is fine. That's just not my thing. So I'm not. Hey, if you're into it, you're into it. But
you know what, JB, I think the people that are King's X fans like the fact that you and I think they're boring. That makes them feel like it's more their band.
Don't feel alone, Michael. I don't get it. I think
I don't.
It was one of the most boring live rock concerts I've ever seen. They're part of the show, so sorry, friends.
Hey, that's the way it goes.
Okay, so a couple show reviews, a little different here. One, I'm not going to do a full show review, but I want to mention a band that recently saw. This information is a little dated, but after moving to Colorado, a band that used to follow down in Dallas-Fort Worth is a band called the Vandaliers. Probably no one's going to have heard of them. They're kind of on some indie labels. They've had some indie releases. But the reason I would never have normally called in about this band, but you mentioned on one of your previous episodes about how you were a fan of Lucero. And
yes.
That kind of surprised me, I guess. I don't know, I guess just because it didn't necessarily fit some of the other bands you mentioned. But
they got great tunes. And they're a little bit Americana, but they got some great tunes.
I'm also a fan of Lucero. And seeing them once the Vandaliers opened for them. Now I had saw the Vandaliers several times before that and after that, but
is it Bandoliers or the Vandaliers?
Made me think, hey, you know what? Maybe Michael Butler would like the Vandaliers. So
Vandaliers.
Anyway, they came through Denver, went and saw them.
Let me look up the Vandaliers while he's talking.
I highly recommend them if you can catch them. To anyone who else might be interested, I'll describe them as this. They would fall into the category of what you call a cowpunk band, where it's, kind of like they were all originally in punk bands, and then they got together and kind of formed this kind of country act.
Let's hear a little bit of Vandaliers every Saturday night. Let's see, 2021.
We'll do it live. Sorry, guys.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Come on, Vandaliers.
I took for granted every Saturday night with my rowdy friends and the love of my life. We should have danced till they
I like
turned out
this.
the lights.
Sounds good.
I took for granted every Saturday night. I miss the taste of whiskey. I miss the smell of smoke. I miss the last calls at the dance halls. I miss the last songs before they close. You sing along the turnpike, heading down the
I like this.
road. I always took the long way. The sun rose before we got home. I took for granted every Saturday night with my rowdy friends and the love of my life. We should have danced till they turned out the lights. I took for granted every Saturday night.
All right, thank you, JB. And now I got to go search out the Vandaliers. That song's catchy. Or back to you.
Most. But it's definitely cowpunk. They put on a great live show. They are so much fun. I think you'd like them. And in fact, Michael, if you say the word, I would be happy to not send you.
Yeah, please don't.
Maybe
Their
a collection
entire-
of their vinyl.
Thank
of
you,
their,
friend.
discography on
Yes,
vinyl. I think they've
please.
got 3 albums that are available on vinyl. All 3 are good. And I think, thanks to your friend Joe Pawlak, I think you have Apple Music now. Maybe you can pull up some Vandaliers and sample them if you want to add it to the show. Let me give you 2. I'll give you 2 songs that I would recommend. I think you would like.
I just play it every Saturday night.
One is a song called "Rolling Out," which is
Rolling Out.
basically kind of a. It's a kind of a rock song about kind of being a band on the road. So I think you'd appreciate that. And there's also another one I think you might like, is a song called "Every Saturday Night."
Just played that.
That's one of their newer songs, and they actually wrote that during the pandemic. And it kind of talks about how they took for granted that they could play a show every Saturday night. So again, maybe I can slip in a little payola too. But if you say yes.
Yes.
I will work on getting you
Thank
their
you, friend.
albums if you think you'd like them.
I think I would.
Maybe if you listen to one of those songs or play one of those songs now, maybe you'll get an idea. You can do a instant review or something. The second show review I want to tell you about is not long after I moved here, moved to Colorado. I'm not in Colorado now, but my wife and I went to a beer food truck festival out at this little outdoor amphitheater, and the entertainment for the night was a band called That Arena Rock Show. And never heard of them, but
somebody
it was
else
pretty
told-
obvious what it was going to.
Somebody else told me about this. Did they call Eddie Trunk and talk about this? I don't remember. I remember hearing somebody talk about That Arena Rock Show, and I heard it was really good.
Was that not quite like a Steel Panther comedy bit, but basically they were kind of like putting on about the 80s hair metal bands, and they were all dressed up like a hair metal band. But it wasn't a comedy routine, but they put a lot of effort into their production. And what they would do is with almost every song, they would change into like an outfit to kind of go with that song. So I will say this. look, I'm not a musician, so I'm never going to bag on someone who has the talent to play and the balls to get up on stage and play. But look, to be honest with you, they were not very good.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think they put more effort into their production than they did into
Because
their
what you just
musicianship,
described, when they do costume changes and shit, I'm not really into the costume changes. I mean, other than Justin Hawkins.
It's just okay. I was going to go through the set list and have you sing along to the songs, but then I thought, you know what I'm going to do? Let's do this.
Oh, good.
Let's see if you can guess. I will tell you the name of the band. We'll go through the set list. I'll tell you the name of the band. You tell me what song it is you think they played to play to the crowd, okay?
I like this.
So they come out, big production, lights, kind of like
Ladies and
lasers
gentlemen.
and stuff, They come out, and the first song they played was a Motley Crue song. Which Motley Crue song do you
Girls, girls, girls.
think they played?
I'm guessing girls, girls, girls. What else would they? He's the one they call Dr. Feelgood? No, they wouldn't do Dr. Feelgood. I'm guessing girls, girls, girls. It wouldn't be Home Sweet Home. They wouldn't open with a ballad. I'm guessing girls, girls, girls.
Okay, that's your guess. The answer is Kickstart My Heart. That
Okay. That makes sense.
was what they came out to.
Kickstart my heart, it'll never stop.
Then they went right into a Poison song. What Poison song do you think they played?
And baby, talk dirty to me.
Don't need nothing but a good time, Mike.
Oh, damn it. So close. Hit it, CC. All right. By the way, I love that running gag, too.
That's what they played. Then the lead singer kind of goes off the stage, and he comes back out, and he's got a top hat on and a cane.
Oh, no.
And
Alice Cooper?
he's kind of dressed like one of your favorites, Alice Cooper.
Okay.
Which Alice Cooper song do you think they played?
School's out for summer.
Yeah, that's right. And they even had I think at one point during it, they had two people came on the stage dressed as Wayne and Garth from Wayne's World, and they kind of did the "We're Not Worthy" thing, and that was kind of like the
What
gimmick
song
the
did
whole
they
time.
play?
They would play a kind of an '80s song, and then they would try to either dress like them or have some sort of gimmick like that. After that, they played a Quiet Riot song.
Come on, feel the noise. Even though that's not a Quiet Riot song, but I'm guessing that's what they played, or Mental Health. I'm guessing Come On, Feel the Noise.
Take a guess. Metal Health.
Ah!
Metal Health.
Damn it!
Then, at this point, this was a very suburban crowd, Michael. So a lot of people sitting
A lot
in
of
their
girls?
camping chairs and just enjoying their beers and
This band probably makes a shit ton of money.
nodding their head along to the songs. But when they went to this song, they did a Bon Jovi song next. Which one do you think?
Oh, living on a prayer. Take my hand, we'll make it, I swear. That's my guess. He's probably going to say, I'm a cowboy.
That's right. Shot to the Heart.
Oh. And y'all to blame. You give love a bad name.
You're to blame.
Oh, fuck.
Because you give love
Missed it.
a bad name.
I've gotten
Now,
everyone wrong so far.
this point, Michael, the suburbanites started to really get into it. Mainly the
Good.
MILFs, right? The moms,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I think they were just reliving their youth.
Yeah.
And, during this, I actually took some
tops come
photos
off?
and posted it on the Facebook page of which you did not create, but you do approve
Yes.
to keep out election deniers who
Exactly.
try to intimidate people at the polling place.
With camo and guns.
Which we appreciate you doing.
And those people who want to, those freedom fighters who want to keep the Second Amendment, get rid of their guns. All right, enough of that.
But it was kind of funny. They really started to get into it. I don't know if the beer was kicking in or what.
Tops
but
off.
They were really enjoying it.
I
Then
like
they did.
I like watching a bunch of MILFs get up and dance. When I Featherwitch, man, I miss those days in Featherwitch. It was all MILFs. All
a couple of
MILFs.
Aerosmith songs. Want to take a guess which ones?
Dude look like a lady.
No, it wasn't Walk This Way.
Okay.
Yeah, Sweet Emotion.
Ooh.
And then Dude Looks Like a Lady.
Yeah, I got
And
that
then
one right.
Dude
Okay.
Looks Like a Lady. They had a guy came out on the stage dressed as like Robin Williams and Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, brother.
He was kind of dancing around to that. So.
That is dumb. Oh, that's right. That's in the Mrs. Doubtfire movie. Okay.
Then the guitar player did Star Spangled Banner, and that was mainly
Hendrix?
for like almost a wardrobe change. So like most of the band left the stage while this guy did the Star Spangled Banner. And
Damn, that's a lot of production.
the singer comes out and he's dressed like Brian Johnson of AC/DC.
You shook me all night long.
Want to take a guess? No, wasn't Back in Black.
You shook me all
no,
night long.
was not. You shook me all night
Ooh.
long. No, they did Thunderstruck.
That's a good one.
And then the crowd was getting into it more and more. Then they played Cinderella song.
I don't even know any fucking Cinderella songs. I don't even know what it's. I don't know one Cinderella song. What is it? I don't know. I don't know any Cinderella songs.
Take a guess on that one?
No.
That's right. Nobody's Fool.
Wait, Nobody's Fool. I don't even know that one.
Then they did,
That was probably one people wanted to get beers
I
for.
recall now, so they did a Whitesnake song next. Now, this was a bit of a surprise to me. They did not do Here I Go Again.
What they probably did. It's still the night, still the night, still the night, still the night.
Or, what they played was Still of the Night.
Yes,
which is
I got
actually
it right.
Probably one of them. I'm not a big Whitesnake fan, but that was one of the songs I really liked with them. And I thought, it's not an obscure song, but I don't know if that's the one that the suburbanites, the MILFs, would have recognized right away. I think they would have recognized some other Whitesnake
Well,
song.
Featherwitch played Still of the Night in front of a bunch of MILFs, and they loved it.
Slide it in, or something
Gonna
like that.
slide it in.
Then, next thing you know, guess what? The singer is dressed like Dee Snider. So what song do you think they did?
We're not.
Whoa.
We're not gonna take it.
Is dressed like Dee Snider. So what song do you think they did?
We're not gonna take it.
No,
I
would have
Wanna
guessed
Rock.
that too. I would have guessed that too. I would have guessed we're not going to take it, but that's
Yeah.
not what they
Which
played.
I
They
Wanna
played
Rock.
I Want to Rock.
Yeah.
And now the crowd's getting into it even more, right?
I bet this band makes a shitload of money.
And then I remember at this point, I said to my wife, I was like, hey, do you think these people know this is not a real band? Like, I got the sense that some of these people, they were getting so into it. I think some of them thought like they were seeing like the real band that plays these songs. And they were getting really into it. Like, it was kind of like, remind me like when a wedding reception finally reaches that crescendo and everyone's on the dance floor. Like,
Drunk.
everyone was just playing
They're
along,
drunk.
singing along and pumping their fist.
Well, you gotta hand it to the band.
Then one of the guitar players came out and he's wearing like the Eddie Van Halen overalls with the red and white black
Jump!
stripes. And
Might as well jump.
he attempted to do Eruption. Now again,
Okay.
obviously the guy can play guitar. I can't even play guitar, so he's obviously better than me. But honestly, it was awful. He should have just did a regular guitar solo of his own because it was
horrible.
It was really an insult to Eruption, and that led them right into. Take a guess? Which Van Halen song?
Jump.
Panama.
Oh! Featherwitch played Panama too, and the MILFs loved that one.
Panama. Then they did a Queen medley, and frankly, I can't.
We Will Rock
I think
You.
it was like, I'm sure it was Bohemian Rhapsody and We Will Rock You. I think. And then they did. We're getting near the end now. The people are drunk. And then they played a Def Leppard song.
Okay, let me see. Def Leppard song. Photograph. It's not Photograph, right? It's probably Pour Some Sugar on Me.
Now, what Def Leppard song
I'm guessing Pour Some
you
Sugar.
think would have pushed these MILFs over the
Oh,
top?
Pour Some Sugar for sure.
You're right. Pour Some Sugar on
Yes,
Me.
yeah.
Michael,
Man.
they were getting up on their husband's shoulders.
Oh,
I was
nice.
waiting for the boobs to
Yeah,
they never did.
yeah. See, we think alike, friend. Let me back it up a little bit because I talked over him.
We're getting near the end now. The
Okay.
people are drunk. And then they played a Def Leppard song.
Okay, I backed
Now,
it
what
up a
Def
little too
Leppard
far.
song
Pour some sugar on me.
you
Boobs
think
come
would
out.
push these MILFs over the top. You're right. Pour Some Sugar on Me.
Yeah.
Michael, they were getting up on their husband's shoulders. I was waiting for the boobs to come out. They never did, but at least not that I saw. But I couldn't believe how the crowd was getting into this.
Oh, man.
Now,
JB, you, me, and Joe Pawlak and Michael Street, we all need to have a meetup, man. Because JB sounds like a fun guy to hang out with.
About this time, we decided that we were going to head out. There was some douchebag it was a real hot day that day, and so some douchebag behind us.
Spitting
The
beer on
walking
you.
path was right behind our seats, between like the lower bowl of the amphitheater. And
Damn, they played a fucking amphitheater? Shit.
in the lawn, and some guy up on the lawn was squirting. Everybody that walked by, he'd squirt him with a water gun.
They let you bring those into the show?
The people that were getting hit really weren't getting mad. They would laugh, and they're like, "Oh, thanks, it's hot." Well, the problem was where we were sitting, and the people next to us, we kept getting hit.
They let you bring fake guns into the show, but not beers.
We did it, and I got really pissed at one point. I went up to him and I said, "Look, I know you're having fun with your little toy there, but we're getting hit every time." He was like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and he's like, "I'll put it away." And to his credit, he never did get it back out again until the end of the concert, when I think everyone was getting drunk again, and so we were like, "Man, screw this, we're leaving." So we left, and as we left, as we were walking towards the car, we could hear the strains of the final three songs, which
Welcome
were
to the Jungle.
If you can guess the Guns N' Roses songs.
Okay, well, it's not Welcome to the Jungle. It's Sweet Child of
I
Mine.
guarantee you'll get them right. Go ahead. Number one,
Sweet Child
That's
of
right.
Mine.
Welcome to the Jungle.
Okay.
Number two,
Sweet Child.
Sweet Child of Mine. Number three,
Take me down to the Paradise City where the grass is.
Paradise City.
Exactly.
And as we were getting in the car, we were a ways away from the amphitheater now, but now I could look back and I could see the entire crowd, and it looked like I just could not get over how into it this crowd
Damn,
was.
they
It was
packed
like
the fucking
a regular
amphitheater.
rock
This cover band packed the fucking amphitheater. Kudos to those guys.
concert. I mean, hey, good for them. Hey, the people have been stuck at home with their kids all year with the pandemic and all that type of stuff. I guess maybe they just wanted to let loose, and they didn't care it was a fake band that was doing it. But let's see here. Let me take one more swig of my Miller Lite.
I'll join you with
one
the
more
Pacifica.
final comment here.
I'm on like beer number 4 or 5. I'm getting buzzed.
All right, wanted to give you a credit for podcasts sell vinyl. So
Okay, tough.
found myself a nice little music store here in my new area. Shout out to Bogies West. Mostly vinyl, but they also have some CDs.
By the way, thank you to everybody who told Tusk that they heard him on the Rock and Roll Geek Show, because that was really good to hear, and he appreciated it too. We texted,
and stuff, but
he did call me right after Eddie Trunk, because I listened, and he called me right after and said, "I told you I would do it," so I appreciated that.
I went in there, checked it out, was flipping through the vinyl, and I stumbled upon a vinyl of the Dictators. Blood Brothers, which
That's a
I'll
great
be honest,
album.
Prior to the rock,
I was just texting with Handsome Dick about 10 minutes ago. All right, I'm dropping some Eddie Trunk.
Geek Show, I was not familiar with the Dictators at all, and I found it. After listening to you talk about them and have Handsome Dick Manitoba, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna pick this album up, this used Dictators album on vinyl, and man, I fucking love it.
It's great.
And
That's a great album.
I mean, it's a great album. In fact, if you wanted to have a song to close out your show today, may I request "I Stand Tall" from that album, because I love that song.
I Stand Tall. Let's see.
Great album.
Let's hear a little bit of I Stand Tall. Let me pull up Dictators here. Let's see. Artist Dictators. Dictators. Okay. Do I not have Blood Brothers on here? Okay, let's see. I don't have fucking Blood Brothers on here. All I have is No Tomorrow, Stay With Me, and Stay With Me. I have it on vinyl, but I'm not going to pull it out. Let's see. Nope. Don't have it on here. I apologize. Let me. Oh, I do have Apple Music. What if? Let me see. I Stand Tall, Dictators. And it's not on the. It's not on. There's no Dictators on Apple Music. Let me like Dick. Okay, the Dictators, Blood Brothers. Here we go. Wait, that's not it. Okay, let me pull up. I don't know how to work Apple Music, motherfucker. Let me see Apple Music. I can't work it. I can't figure it out. Sorry, JB.
And you know what else I love?
All right, let me try Google. Let me try the Google here, the Google machine. I stand tall, Dictators. Okay, here we go. Dictators, I stand tall. All right. First, we got to deal with the stupid fucking YouTube ad.
If you're a music maker shopping for gear online,
blah, 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 Sweetwater!
With the widest selection.
Okay, skip ads. A little bit of Dictators, I Stand Tall from the Blood Brothers album. I'm going to go piss while this is playing. Oh, yeah, this is a good one. Hey, Andy Chernoff, I said it. He's one of the top 2 punk rock songwriters of all time. Even though I'm on Team Handsome Dick. All right. Okay, there you go. That was for you, JB. I stand tall.
Well, I love the Rock and Roll Geek Show and you.
Oh, hold on. Back it up. I'd be a little ass kissing.
And I found it, after listening to you talk about him and have Handsome Dick Manitoba, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pick this album up.
Well
this
worth
used
it.
Dictators album on vinyl. And, man, fucking love it.
That album's
And
great. Stay With Me is the great song.
It's a great album. In fact, if you wanted to have a song to close out your show today, may I request I Stand Tall from that album, because I love that song. Great album. And you know what else I love, Michael? I love the Rock and Roll Geek Show.
I love you, JB.
And your fellow listeners.
Yes.
Even if I perhaps maybe got my audio comment for Dog Days was shit canned. If so.
We made up for it with
whatever.
We made up for it with a 21-minute audio comment, JB.
What else to say? Have a good evening.
Stay
and of
frosty.
course, stay frosty.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Thank you, JB. I really appreciate it. That was a great comment. All right. Let's play a song, and I'll come back and do one more audio comment from the great Chris Capelle, the rock and roll copywriter. This is, let me pull up my, back to the Rock and Roll Geek playlist here. I'm interviewing, this is the Black Halos. Black Halos have a new album coming out. I think it's coming out tomorrow or on Friday. The album is called How the Darkness Doubled, Black Halos. I'm having the singer on. I'm going up to the Mountain House on Friday, and I'm going to interview the singer on Saturday, Billy Hopeless, who I have known for a long time. American Heartbreak did a bunch of gigs with them. And the American Heartbreak's old guitar player, Adam, took Rich Jones's place in the Black Halos. So we're just going to talk rock. I know he's a big Dan McCafferty fan, and I think he was friends with Dan McCafferty as well. So we're going to talk rock for however long I can. He can put up with me, or vice versa. So if you have any questions for Billy Hopeless, send them to me, rockandrollgeek@gmail.com, or post it on the Facebook group. This is a brand new Black Halos. The album is called How the Darkness Doubled. This is a cover. It's called Ready to Snap. This is from, it's a cover of The Wanderers, which is Steve Bader and three of the guys from Sham 69. The song is called Ready to Snap.
People staring at me, they can't tell what I am.
There you go. Brand new Black Halos. Special guest. It's a duet with Michael Monroe on second vocals. So there you go. Billy Hopeless coming on the show Saturday. We'll talk a little bit of Nazareth and some Black Halos and see how long we can put up with each other. Maybe a short episode. Who knows? All right. Another audio comment. The last one. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Back. Okay. Chris Capelle, the rock and roll copywriter.
Michael Butler, Chris, the rock and roll copywriter, calling in with a double concert review.
Good.
But first of all, how you doing?
I'm super great. Couldn't be better. My back is killing me, but I'm
Glad
great.
to hear it. I wet myself, as they say over in Great Britain, on that last episode.
Which one was that?
Quite amusing. Anyway,
Casey
I am going to open up a fine Samuel Adams Winter Lager, festive and smooth, in the bottle with an Aero beer. It hits the spot bottle opener. Here we go.
Number 5 or 6 here on Pacific.
Time for you to take your sip.
All right, finish up this one.
Let's do it. All right, I texted you from a couple different shows.
Yes, Wasp,
and I know
I
some
hope.
other geeks went to other dates on this tour, but this was the Wasp Armored Saint show. The one I went to was on the 17th of November, which was Thursday night. Today is Sunday evening, about 6 o'clock.
All right, I'm going to tell the story again about when I'll let him go a little bit longer here.
20th. And that was at the Wellmont Theater in Montclair, New Jersey, where I've never been before. So I thought, why not go to a new venue? And it's about probably an hour and a half from where I live, if I'm the only car on the road. Getting into northern New Jersey is dicey on rush hour on a weekday. And it was probably... It said it was 10 miles past MetLife Stadium, which probably took about 45 or 50 minutes, but whatever. So Armored Saint opened, and oddly enough, their singer
John Bush
fallen on hard times with his voice. He, I guess, had throat problems. I don't really know the thing, but they got this other guy from Dangerous Toys to sing for him.
Jason McMaster.
And he, oddly enough, did the same thing locally with Accept. And I was thinking about possibly going to that Accept show, but I think it was at the Chance of Poughkeepsie, which is also an hour away. And that's the kind of place that puts on 6 local bands, and the headliner comes on about 2:20 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I just didn't feel like dealing with that. So, and then we get that pinch singer guy, and I was like, oh, good, I didn't go to that show. Boy, I dodged that bullet. And now I go to Armored Saint, never seen them before, and that's that. I mean, kind of weird someone being replaced on the road, which I guess is going to happen more and more. I saw.
Isn't John Bush the singer for Armored
John
Saint?
Bush came out and introed this guy, and they did a set, and they were good. Kind of sucked not to hear the original guy.
That guy
John Bush has got a
that guy from Dangerous Toys is a good singer. I like that guy.
Good voice. So the question is, do they lip sync? Are there tracks?
Wasp. Well, let me tell you. American Heartbreak played at Slim's with Wasp. We opened up for Wasp, and Chris Holmes was still in the... I think Chris Holmes got back in the band for this. There were backing tracks galore. I saw Wasp open for, I don't know, at an arena show. It might open for Alice Cooper. I don't remember. It probably wasn't Alice Cooper. It was during that time. And they had backing tracks then. This is when Blackie Lawless was playing bass, and they were throwing out posters and stuff. And he was throwing out posters, and the bass was still going while he's throwing posters out to the crowd. The bass is still going. And when we played with them at Slim's in San Francisco, American Heartbreak, there were tons of backing tracks. Which, by the way, these guys, they were complete. Well, Chris Holmes was cool. We were talking. He was like a normal guy, just hanging out and talking. But Wasp management were complete dicks. They told us we had to clear the backstage and this and that and blah blah blah. And Blackie had this weird looking motorcycle mic stand, and they refused to move that, and so we had to maneuver around that mic stand, and the people at Slim's Slim's has this video screen that comes down in front of the stage, and Blackie Lawless did something to piss off the people at Slim's. The music and the video screen came down like at the second song while Wasp is playing, and I don't know why I'm saying Nikki, Blackie Lawless got really pissed off. Then the thing came back up, and Blackie Lawless threw a temper tantrum and was cussing the people out that worked at Slim's or something, and video screen comes down again, like third song. Blackie left the stage, show over. It was quite a scene. But yes, they did have backing tracks both times I saw them.
I would say probably yes and yes. I mean, the vocals sounded for Wasp really first rate, which is easy to do when you're playing to tracks. And also, notice tonight will be 7 days in a row, 7 shows in a row for a guy who's in his mid-60s. I don't think that's really possible these days. I mean,
I don't think the thing
probably
is
tough enough to sing this way.
In keeping with Eddie Trunk, I don't think anybody gives a shit if bands do backing tracks. They don't care.
30 years ago, but so the vocals were good. I couldn't see. I was looking for it, of course. I couldn't see any lip syncing. Of course, there's flashing lights and all this stuff. So it wasn't a point where he stepped away from the microphone and the vocals were still going, so there wasn't any obvious tell like that. What my friend Matt, who I went with, noticed was he said the background vocals that the other guys were singing sounded like Blackie, that's
usually how you can tell the backing tracks is usually the background vocals. And Blackie probably did. He probably quadruple tracked the vocals just for this tour.
People say that about Kiss Alive too. That Paul Stanley's singing lead and background on these, whatever.
Yeah.
So the set list for this whole tour
I'm not an authority. I'm going to rattle off the songs, I hope.
To be the same. It's short. It was a 75-minute set, and the band was tight. And the first song was a medley, On Your Knees, The Flame, The Torture Never Stops, Inside the Electric Circus. Then Love Machine.
L-O-V-E. All I need's my love machine.
Child, The Idol.
I'm a wild child.
The Great Misconception of Me, Chainsaw Charlie, which are all kind of long songs, and Blind in Texas.
I'm blind in Texas.
And then
no Animal Fuck Like a Beast.
Encore was Animal Fuck Like a Beast, which segued into The Real Me, The Who cover.
Can you see the real me?
Which they did on one of their albums.
Yeah.
And I Want to Be.
I thought they did a good version. I wanna be somebody.
Now, the interesting thing was that they were singing along with a lot of the videos, the original videos from the 80s, like on Love Machine and Wild Child.
They sound exactly the same.
Yeah, they were right on cue with the videos. So it looked like,
backing tracks.
They were synced to that. I was looking for the drummer with, earphones, which he didn't have, but he could have had in-ears, who knows. And then when they did the encore, when they did the Animal going into The Real Me, there was no video for the Animal, but when they went into The Real Me, they were right on cue with the video. So there you go. And I did hear, some strings and other stuff that you don't normally hear, and, synthesized stuff on The Real Me that you don't.
Well, you didn't see any synthesizer player on stage, did you?
Get with, 2 guitars, bass, drums. So there you go. The one cool thing he did, or Blackie or the band did, that I've never seen any other band ever do, any band that's changed a lot of people. At the very end, on the video screen, they put a little clip of everybody who had been in the band. You know, the guy from LA Guns, the drummer, Steve Riley, and there's a drummer before that, and Chris Holmes and Randy Piper and Johnny Rod, and then all the newer guys. So they all got a few seconds with their name on there, and I thought that was pretty cool to do that. I've never seen anybody do that. And that's in Wellmont, New Jersey. If anybody's been to the Capitol Theater in Portchester, it's kind of very similar to that. It's, you know, an old 20s theater, you know, in a town that was probably hopping in the old days because it was probably an industrial town. And then it just becomes kind of a, you know, blah town. And, you know, it was freezing cold and there was a long line. But that was it. The only other thing, I met a guy from the Sea of Tranquility channel named Chris also, oddly enough. I was in the concession line and I turned around and said, "Hey, you're the guy from Sea of Tranquility." And there are a bunch of guys up in the Hudson Valley area who have this YouTube channel that do some stuff I'm interested in, some stuff I'm not, but I thought that was pretty cool. Then last night I went to Long Island to the Paramount, which is an awesome theater, which I've been to before on several occasions. Most recently, the Testament,
the Bass Strikes Back,
Exodus Death Angel show earlier this year, and that was to see Zebra. And
Zebra. I know nothing about Zebra.
First album in order.
Except I know nothing about Zebra except I know they're from the tri-state area and they were among the cover bands and they're big Zeppelin guys.
And I know most people probably know very little of them because Zebra is kind of a Long Island thing, really. Yeah. But, you know, when I was a kid, I'd hear the radio stations in Long Island and they'd talk about Zebra and Twisted Sister and the Good Rats and Rat and Race Choir.
Those were the three bands that were the big club bands, right?
These bands that were like playing these clubs. You know, of course, I'm 14 years old or whatever. I couldn't go, but Zebra did put out an album, a debut, which I think is just stellar. I don't think any of their stuff was ever as good, but you know, you can say that about a lot of bands like the Go-Go's and Asia or whoever, that their first albums were the real good one. But I digress. So I drove down there on Saturday again with my friend Matt because I hooked him up with a realtor to sell his place. So he was giving thanks. So that helped. And they played, and these guys are, you know, in their mid 60s too. And they played a total of 21 songs. And it's a trio.
That's a lot.
And it's the same three guys that put out their album in 1983. And
now I get Zebra and Kingdom Come mixed up. So maybe Zebra's not the Zeppelin band. Maybe it's Kingdom Come is the Zeppelin band, right?
You know, it's Randy Jackson on guitar and vocals, Felix Hanneman on bass and keyboards, and Guy Gelso on drums.
I don't know any of those guys.
They said something like to the effect of it's the whole first album, some fan favorites and Led Zeppelin covers, because they also do this whole thing with the Led Zeppelin set. So they played 3 songs from albums 4 and 3, and then they did the whole first album, drum solo. And then in the second half of the show, they did 3 Zeppelin covers: Kashmir, What Is and What Should Never Be, and Stairway to Heaven. You know, a couple songs from their second album, Wait Until the Summer's Gone, Bears, No Telling Lies.
And they did play
one song,
No
number
Lies.
18. I don't know what it is on set list. It doesn't say what it is, so I didn't recognize it. So they're, like I said, a stellar band. You know, Lost You Learn. There's no backing tracks there. I mean, the only thing they did is they had this saxophone friend guy named Chili Willy who comes out.
We're gonna bring up Chili Willy. He's gonna play some. He's gonna blow some sax.
Last time I saw them, that Chili Willy guy was there too. And then there was an opener called Fuzz Bubble. They're from Long Island, and they were signed in the 90s, and they never got anywhere. And
the name like
they
Fuzz
broke
Bubble, I
up,
can't
and
imagine.
They just got back together. Their bass player had died last
The
year.
Fuzz
Sounds
Bubble
like
reunion.
Probably took his own life the way they're talking about him and all that stuff on stage. And they were kind of like a power pop thing, and they were decent. I mean, I think their songs probably could have used a little tightening up, but, you know, performance-wise, they were really good, and they did a Paul McCartney cover near the end, Jet, and the guy had a
Butler's
good kind of
played Jet.
raspy voice. So I can put the set list of both these shows on the Rock and Roll Geek Facebook page,
Thank you, friend.
which you did not
No,
create.
I didn't. Let's
But
hear
you
it. Let's
do
hear it.
approve
Let's hear
users
it.
with 2 simple questions to prove they aren't bots that will get an ex-president back on Twitter.
Exactly.
So there we go. It's the end of the year. No more concerts this year unless something comes up. And I would like to hear anybody else's WASP review. So
Yes,
please.
please.
And I'd like to hear another co-host from somebody because it's been a while since somebody's
$100 donation,
done a good
friends.
co-host.
You too
Well,
can donate. You can co-host.
I can't say that, but the Power Pop one was cool. But I mean, like a Richard Fusay kind of co-host. But blah, blah, blah. I'm 12 minutes in, I think. So 12:21. So Chris, the rock and roll copywriter, up in the freezing ass northwest, 34 degrees today. Winter's here.
That's good.
We are staying frosty, and hopefully we'll be keeping the party going.
Keep the party going. I want to hear a German update as well. Speaking of upstate New York and freezing cold, I'm supposed to be in New York right now in Albany with JJ Savage. Me and Andy, we're supposed to be flying up there on Tuesday to do a gig on Friday. That's not happening. I think JJ might still be doing the show, but Andy and I are not there. So if you're going to see JJ Savage on Friday, hoping to see Butler and Andy, we're not there, friends. I believe I'm done with JJ Savage. I hope the kid is a huge success. He doesn't need an old man like me playing with him. So, and I don't need to be in 6 feet of snow in upstate New York. All right, friends. I think that's going to close out the show. Let's end with one song. I'm going to play a song that was sent to me by Jason Smith, friend of the show. Jason used to play bass with a guy named Jeff Dahl. I don't know if you know him, but he was around in the 90s. He was a bass player for Jeff Dahl, he says, and he's playing a song called. He's got a group called Buckshot George, and they're playing a song called. What is it called? What is it? Oh, "Burn Down the Trailer Park," which was written by Jeff Dahl. Where am I here? I'm going to find it. So anyway, Jason Smith plays guitar and sings it on this, I believe. Thank you for listening, friends. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. I'm going to be up in the mountains. Hopefully Joe Klein will be coming up. Let me take another sip of this fine Pacifico. Eat a lot. Don't puke. Drink a lot. Stick it to the man. I hope you enjoy your family. Watch a little football. Just have a great Thursday. All right? I know I'm gonna. Stay married. Don't get divorced. What am I talking about? I have no fucking idea. I'm 6 beers in. Here's Buckshot George. I'll talk to you Saturday, friends, when I have, what's his name again? Oh, yeah. My good friend, Billy Hopeless from Black Halos. I'm getting buzzed. I got to get out of here. Here's Buckshot George. Burn Down the Trailer Park. I'll talk to you soon, friends.
My 40 T-bone got a 69 Camaro.
So look at me funny. Watch yourself. I'll mess you up, Jack. Stripper mom always does the best she can, though she's got a talent for weak, stupid men. She chews them up and then she spits them out, and I say, rock on, mom, stripper mom, rock on. Well, I'm gonna buy me a lottery ticket and praise the Lord until it hits. You can see me on the 5 o'clock news, and I'll tell you what it's like to be filthy rich. Burn down the trailer park, I wanna see it in flames. This old road has seen better days. It's more pothole than not. Got a liquor store around the corner, though they don't take credit, and I think that sucks. Your heart is a lot like a guitar string. It was made to be busted. Getting tired of the same damn thing. Gonna get my pickup truck and leave you in the dust. Burn down the trailer park, I wanna see it in flames.
It's a rock and roll geek train wreck.